David, I think that to start with, fat is not a bad thing. Okay. Evolution has its way in it, that it's a way to store energy. So food that we take in, the body has to find ways of storing it so that in times of adversity or starvation, the body has ready stores of energy to fall on. So when you eat your kenke, your bread, you have carbohydrates. The body they can store it as glycogen, but only for a short while. So fat is one of the ways that body can store energy for a longer period. Yes. And then there are places that it's not just the abdomen. There are places that this fat is stored. So the trunk, the midsection is just one of them. The butts and the thighs, these are all places that fat is stored.
The arms, for example,
yes,
especially in women.
Yes, and for men, the pectoral area, the chest, we can store fat there. So in the midsection, so it's important to know that there are two types in the midsection. There's visceral fat and subcutaneous fat. The visceral fat is around the organs, and then the subcutaneous is just under the skin. And fat also has its uses, several uses in the body. But when the input of calories and energy is totally outstrips the output or expenditure, for those who are living sedentary lives, then there is net, gain, and these things are stored in this. The abdomen begins to protrude and all that. And I think that if you'd ask why, I think that people are, especially, are not very aware, if I may put it that way, of the health implications of the lifestyle that we lead. There are genetic causes. Their lifestyle, causes, like how you eat, what you eat, the time, whether you exercise, that is what gets us down this path. Yeah.
But Dominic, I mean, in times past, we had this notion that, well, it's a sign of affluence that you're eating, you're living healthy, you're living well, and all that. This time around, the women, where from this protruding belly also for women? I mean, and the interesting, the funny bit of it all is the way they dress. I mean, that your stomach is not, that flat. Yeah, they wear clothing that tight, goes around the stomach area, protruding and showing it. How come women are also having all this problem?
Yeah, Dave, before I start, I would like to send my best regards to the Vice Chancellor of Kenya University and all the staff, and also the Barclays Bank. David, with the women, the little research that I made was I have three basic factors that contribute to women having pot belly. One is stress.
Stress. Okay.
Yeah, stress. Women nowadays, most of our women are engaging, the kind of work they are doing. They are all under stress, and when you go under stress, your body secretes a whole lot of hormones, and that contributes to gathering fat in some areas, especially in the abdomen. And then we have inactivity or sedentary lifestyle. Most of our women, like those at the bank, for instance, they go to work early in the morning, stay, come home very late, eat, sleep. So it's like their energy income and energy expenditure is not balanced. They take in more.
And labor and delivery. After the baby has come, there's, the baby's needs. It's a stress on the mother. And so once they have they're on maternity leave, maybe they are home breastfeeding, and the mindset is, I've expended a lot of energy. I have to now eat. Now
so
they are burnt pie. Now the real meat. So let me eat. There's a percentage like childbirth. You've lost blood. It's true. You've lost a lot of energy, but it doesn't mean you should just pour in junk to replace that. Especially when you are not exercising, you get it. So I think that is very true too. And the fact that you've given birth does not mean you should not, your mobility and how you carry yourself, it's very important so that you don't go down this path. Yes.
Well, let me rope in Patrick into our conversation now. Patrick, I mean, you've heard, Dominic, you've heard Alfred. They've told us what they think is causing the protruding belly. We've touched on that over women and all that. I would like for you to talk about age. Does age also play a role? Because when people are young, like these young guys you see in the studios, they have flat stomach. But they hit age 35, they hit 40, they hit 45, and you ask yourself, is it the same person I knew some years ago? So does age really play a role? Does age make the stomach bigger?
Absolutely. Age plays a role. As you get older, you notice you don't recover as quickly from exercise. You get sore, and your metabolism ages as well. So when you're younger, you may have noticed you could eat junk all the time and be fine and have tons of energy. But now, as Dee said, those empty calories, they don't get you as far. And not only that, but people living sedentary lifestyles that they were mentioning earlier, it just is an imbalance of the amount of calories they're putting into their body to the amount that they're expending. When they're not, using those calories, they just get stored in as fat because that's our long-term way of keeping them. In their younger years, these women were probably able to eat things like that and still look
sexy.
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine that's sexy.
Still look
Sexy,
sexy.
beautiful. Yeah.
And not to say that they don't look sexy now, but at the same time, there's a healthier way to go about it, and it's a matter of eating the right types of foods and still exercising. We have a saying in the United States that if exercise were a drug, it would be the most prescribed drug in the world, because the benefits that you get from exercising go much further than your physical physique, your mental well-being, and your internal health that you can't necessarily see. It's not something aesthetic. The benefits from exercising play into those things as well.
Can we say it's normal? I mean, for example, we just talked about age playing a role in here. Can we therefore just conclude and say it's normal that once you are aging, your stomach will get bigger, so we just don't have to bother about it?
To say it's normal is kind of a stretch, because as you get older and you're not able to exercise maybe or metabolize things the way you used to, you have to adapt in order to keep yourself healthy. It is, I would say, natural for your body and your metabolism to change, but you can have the responsibility to change with your body and to keep yourself healthy based on what you're putting into your body.
Yeah,
and one thing about aging too, you lose your muscle bulk as you are aging, and it's the muscles that burn the calories.
Okay.
So if you have what burns the calories, you are getting them thin out. The tendency to retain those calories as fat is also increased. That's just to add to what Dr. Patrick said.
So because you came here, let me throw this one at you now. Because here in Ghana, you realize that when somebody gets a job and the person is getting paid, at the end of the month, or the person is making some money, what we often want to do is to have fun. We say, we're chilling. And so oftentimes people want to take alcohol. So they would take the beers and what have you. Seriously, does that also cause a problem, for us?
Yes. So alcohol is a very high calorie. It has high calories, and people drink and won't exercise. You see, there are people who drink and they don't have a problem. They have flat tummies like mine. I don't drink.
And
yes.
I envy you.
Yes,
I envy your stomach, not you, but your stomach. Yeah.
I have a lot of who envy me. I mean, my stomach doesn't respond to food or anything like that. So it's one of the yeah. So what you are saying is true. Once it's like you've gotten a new job, there's a mind that's you say, now my brain. Yes. So you see, I think it's attitude and the mind that. How people know that I now am quite well to do. I have to put on weight, but it's not just any weight gain that is good for you. Okay. Like Dee said, there are things you take in and they don't add to your health. It actually just gives you problems. And I mean, I'm sure along the line we will talk about what happens, what we see in the hospitals.
Yeah. We'll talk about
it's not a joke at all.
It's a pleasant thing
at all.
But Dee, I mean, how come we don't really care? To me, it seems we're not bothered about it. I mean, I keep saying the ladies because I like to see a woman with a very nice flat tummy. so like we would say the Coca-Cola shape or something. So the top there is curved well, the stomach is flat, the hip area things, well designed and all that. God has given that to us. Yes, we are abusing it. We think that, well, if we have a guy in your life and the guy is prepared to spend on you, like you said initially, let's enjoy the pizzas, let's enjoy the junk foods, and it's having an effect on us. I mean, stomachs are protruding. So a woman who used to wear, some full dress, some night dress or whatever dress it is and look good in it, or a woman who used to wear jeans and look good in it, now it's something else. And so, question is, and it's not just about women, it's about us guys as well. How come we don't really seem to be bothered about the change?
David, as they really said, naturally, some people are, I think, a small percentage care about themselves and their body. Majority of people don't care about.
But you would like to look good, and you realize that when you have the protruding stomach, you don't look good in what you wear.
To you, in your eyes, you don't look good, but to them, they look perfect.
The stomach protruding?
Trust me.
The big stomach?
Trust me, airbag. They look okay.
All right, so once D is saying this, let me ask you as you do the listening, are you attracted to people who have big stomachs? You're a girl, you're a woman. Are you attracted to guys who have big stomachs? What about you, the guy? Are you also attracted to women who have, protruding bellies or airbags or whatever it is? I mean, that's why we're here. Now, let's talk about the health implications. What are some of the very common health implications when it comes to people who have, for example, protruding stomachs or airbag, as D would call it?
So it's not just for me, it's not just the protruding stomach. So it's like the protruding stomach is the tip of the iceberg. That's like the knocking. It's telling you what this person may be grappling with.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm just imploring listeners to take what we are discussing very seriously. This is a real problem, as in a health issue, that some people are really maybe battling. Not everyone is happy with it. So we are not making light of it at all. I believe that there are institutions that are out there to help people overcome these things. So obesity has a lot of problems. Obesity and hypertension has strong correlation with hypertension, diabetes, cancers, colorectal cancers, and all. We have what we call obstructive sleep apnea. When you sleep, I mean, there are periods that you cease to breathe. These are
cease to breathe.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
These are we know of individuals who have died from that, and they collapse. And they are so obese. If the person around doesn't know that this is something that maybe positioning the person well could help get this patient a better chance at life, and they are brought to the hospital, BID, brought in dead, and you can clearly see that this is what likely happened. You see, so the health implications, for instance, obesity. Let's say you have a huge breast. Or you have this big tummy. During surgery, your functional residual capacity, your ability to, take in deep breaths for your lungs, you have these things reduced. You understand? And it presents a challenge, not one that we cannot surmount, but it does present a real challenge, even when you are intubating a patient who has very thick, breasts. It presents a challenge that you need consultants and specialists to be there, and this could easily be avoided if you were aware and did what was necessary to avoid.
Well, what you're saying that the BID they brought in dead. What you're trying to communicate is that people are obese. And it has to do with the kind of things that we have done that has put,
it doesn't happen overnight.
Yes, it has, so it's over time.
Yeah.
You put on the weight at wrong places, that creates a problem for you. You might think that you are well, you're okay and all. You go to bed, and because of the positioning you are sleeping in, if you're not too careful, something might happen and you just die in your sleep. That's what you're saying. It's
not even just about the positioning, right? I mean, obstructive sleep. So once you are obese, your airway, it has implications. So I'm trying to be... for the layperson to just
understand.
The airway has implications on the airway, your ability to, the expansion and, contraction of your chest muscles and all. These affect your breathing.
Okay.
Yes, and there are periods that you cease to breathe. You get it?
Yeah.
And if you have any problem, let's say a hypertensive crisis or there's a stroke, that's you have a stroke, that this thing says you for someone who is obese, that little problem becomes a real problem. How to have your airway secure, even from your house to the hospital. These are real challenges that the average lay person may not be able to know how to go about. So there are times when patients are brought to the hospital, you know that if this person had maybe a physician on site who saw this, he would have maybe done the right thing.
Save the situation.
Exactly.
In other countries where, things are done right, you can easily call the ambulance. They come to the house and you put place in an ambulance. On your way to the hospital, the right things will be done for you.
And the average
so you
person
don't get
has
to die.
some minimum education. I mean, most people outside are like, oh, when someone goes on, this is the first thing you do whilst you...
So let me come back to you, Patrick. Many times when you talk about obesity, people think that it has to do with somebody who's fat, very huge. Has it got to do with the size? Is that what we base on and say, for example, that a person is obese? Or somebody can be as slim as, let's say, Dr. Alfred, Edu is, or maybe like myself and still be obese. What is it? Is it the size, the huge size, or you can still be small, but your fat's deposited at some areas like your stomach and other places, and then we can conclude and say you're obese, so it's not necessarily about size. What's the situation?
Absolutely, David. The definition of obesity and super obesity and morbid obesity play into a person's body mass index. So it's a basis on the weight that a person carries in accordance with their height. So someone, and I'm shocked all the time to see patients that I think look totally normal, and then when I see what the BMI number is, they technically qualify as obese. And when I'm filling out a chart, I sometimes don't even want to check it, because I'm like, if this patient sees this chart, they're going to think that I called them obese. But that's just based on a numeric value that we use in the United States. I'm assuming you guys use it here as well. But yeah, you can be a person that may feel like you're in good shape, and then you see that number and realize that technically qualifies you as being obese.
Well, I'm happy that you mentioned that, and I'm happy again that we're having this very conversation. Happy because over the weekend here at Love FM, management, the owner decided that we should be checked. Some health screening was done for us. So our BMIs was checked, our fats,
fasting lipid profile.
all those checks was done, hypertension, diabetes, and all that. And then some people whom I see and I'm like, this guy's not big. I'm told that, per the examination, some people are said to be obese. And the right information, has been given to them. And I've seen people practice it since, Saturday, so let's say from Monday. And I'm excited about it because then they are conscious. You know it. You know what your situation is. You're conscious of it, and you're doing the right thing, so you can stay and live longer. I'm trying to put a few things together here whilst you guys were talking. I'm talking about, for example, people who chew meat, a lot of meat, plus a lot of alcohol, especially the beers, plus no exercise or less exercise, plus sleeping. Is equals to what? Death. That's what it is, isn't it? Am I right?
It's an interesting equation.
No, I can see Patrick not, agree with me, but he doesn't want to say it. I can see the smile on your face, Alfred, and you don't want to say it. Am I right in my equation here?
We need a neutral chief examiner.
So let's talk about the health implications in all this. I mean, so we see people on our streets now, and it's quite worrying, very disturbing, where the stomachs are protruding. So what are the very common disease conditions that may be, underlying, or that may surface at one point in time and create problems for them? Run us through it.
So I'll rattle off just a couple of the obvious ones, but high cholesterol, hypertension, these are things that have no symptoms. Okay. You don't feel these diseases. So we call them silent killers because there's a lot of implications that come with high cholesterol and high blood pressure, specifically heart disease. You can have strokes based on those problems, and those are things that people that have the protruding stomachs are much more susceptible for. Dr. Alfred mentioned that earlier, but that's something, if you're not checking your blood pressure regularly, you could come into an office, have it checked, and it's way too high, and you would never have even known it. You don't feel it in any way, so it's something totally asymptomatic. Diabetes is another one that as you gain more body mass, you can develop, especially type 2 diabetes. So, and that's another one that a lot of times doesn't have symptoms until it's fairly progressed.
So Alfred, he mentions a few things. The high cholesterol in us, which of course could push us to having hypertension, diabetes. He talks about heart diseases. He also mentioned stroke and the like. He summed it up and said they're called the silent killers.
Yeah.
Why?
Just as he said, these don't give many warning signs. And you see, if they are calling, when I say they, in the advanced countries, they are calling this the silent killer. I wonder what we would, yes, because our attitude to matters of health, our own health. You'll be very surprised how patients, when I used to be in trauma, you would have a patient whose bones are showing. And you write a letter for discharge against medical advice. And this is an educated person who has been to university. So you can't even say it's an illiterate problem. You understand? So the average person out there, it's not so well. I don't know whether it's information about being concerned about the health and going to check like you guys did here, which is a very good thing. Checking your fasting lipid profile, not because you are sick, but a routine check. Someone may say, well, it's about money because you can't also just walk into it. It's a hydra-headed, problem. But if you are concerned about your health, you take these necessary steps to make sure you are well. I've met patients who say, "Oh, my pressure number for my hypertension is gone. Why? Say I don't have it." I say your head is not a BP machine. Your headache is not the check to know whether your BP is up or down. And the person has stopped taking the drugs for months, and then comes with a stroke. Doesn't go for checkups, or maybe they start taking some herbs somewhere. And then they stop doing their routine checks. Then they come with very bad conditions. And the doctor is now, like you are being expected to work a miracle. When was your last review? 3 months. Then you feel so bad for the patient that if we don't say don't take these things, we would advise you, but even if you are taking them, your routine monthly checks are very, very important. Blood sugar, your ECGs, your fasting lipid profiles, they are very, very important. Yeah.
At what time or at what age in our lives, from what age should we be concerned and be checking some of these things regularly, Patrick?
Well, I just turned 32 back in August, and I can tell a very big difference from now to 5 years ago. So I think I would probably say at the age of 30, you should start getting seen regularly, once a year. If you have a condition like high blood pressure, which I have borderline high blood pressure, a lot of that is genetic too. And I exercise, but it still is something that you can have without having the protruding stomach or being obese. So it's important for even people that feel like they're in good shape to get checkups regularly. And Alfred mentioned, I'm not going to take my blood pressure medicine because I don't have a headache. A headache is a sign that it's dangerously high blood pressure. So just to add that to what he said, but yeah, I would say at the age of 30
and above.
Yeah, and high blood pressure sets in late 20s. Patients that are genetically predisposed to it, they could have it as early as 25, 26.
All right. So we're having this conversation with Dr. Alfred Edu. He's with the ICU at the Confederation Teaching Hospital. He brought in a friend from the States. His name is Patrick. And, of course, we've got D, that is Dominic Ofori. He's with the Hale and Hearty here at KNUST. They do a lot of fitness work just to keep people in shape and for them to stay healthy. You know what? As you listen to us right now, maybe you're a very busy person. You've gone to school. You're working so hard to get enough money for yourself and all. Now, what would that money come to if you're not healthy to enjoy it? You think that, well, you're making money. So right now, at the end of every day, you go sit down with some friends, you shoot some barbecue, you're taking loads of beer, you have fun, and you go straight home, you go straight to bed. Now, worry and concern is, do you know your health status? Do you know how safe you are? The other thing is, what is, of course, bothering me is the protruding stomachs, the airbags, especially for women. And I'm like, can't they see it? It doesn't make you look healthy. It doesn't make you look beautiful. See, and, these days there are people who like it the way it is. So if you're a guy, tell me, first of all, are you satisfied with the size of your own stomach? Are you concerned about it? If you're concerned about it, well, this is as much your conversation as it is mine. If you're a lady, do you think that your stomach is becoming bigger? Are you also concerned and worried about it? Or you think that, well, in as much as it's getting bigger, you're comfortable with it? Now, big stomach, is it attractive or it's not attractive? That's a conversation. We're having all these conversations because we think that your health is very paramount to us here. Dr. Alfred Edu said that some people don't really care. I'm health, but I think that you need to take control of your own health situation and do something about it. So, you know what is happening on the 27th, 10 days away from today. If you have not decided to join us, make sure that you go out there and get your kits. All right, so your shoes, your sportswear, and join us as we walk from the Kumasi City Mall. When we return, we'll tell you more as to how you can protect yourself, as to in terms of what you need to eat, exercises you need to do, and a few other things that would make sure that you stay healthy throughout the year 2018 and even beyond. We'll be right back. Please don't go away.
Oh, this gate. Hey, Mr. Techi, please come and help me open my gate, I beg you. What is wrong with this gate? You know, this is the second time I've changed this gate after the thieves broke into my shop 2 months ago. When I open it, it always gets stuck in the middle here. I don't know why. I'm even tired of it.
Paco, I've always been telling you, never compromise on quality. You see, I've been using my roller shutter gate for the past 10 years, and I have never had any problems with it because I got it from Donima Steel Complex. Donima Steel Complex provides quality roller shutter gates at affordable prices. They are of high quality and impossible to break in. That's not all. They have the manual and automatic gate systems, which are ideal for warehouses, domestic stores, and garages. And they are installed by professionals without any extra charges.
Had I known.
Don't had I known, dear.
Locate Donima Steel Complex at Asafo, YF Junction, near the Ghana Revenue Authority office.
Or call 0244-126-625. Donima Steel Complex, home of tropical products.
The great thing about life is that we are all different and we are free to enjoy life's different flavors everywhere. Under the blazing sun or during a fun night out with a crew, it doesn't matter because at that moment, all you need to do is reach for a Club Mineral to turn up the sweet, bitter, bubbly, spicy or tangy flavor. Whether Club Orange, Club Cola, Club Muscatella, Club Soda or Club Tonic, there's a flavor for everyone. Turn up the flavor. Club Minerals, there's a flavor for everyone.
Would you bring a hot-looking gentleman into the home you share with your ex-husband?
No, but I won't share the same house with my ex-husband.
Mr. Kwate, henceforth, I need you to use this side of the entrance, okay? And make sure you park the car more towards this side, exactly on this angle.
From the stables of Sparrow Films comes Potato, a divorced couple who decide to share equal space in the ex-matrimonial home. Soon realize the idea is easier said than done, bent on flexing their egos and scoring points. The two explore various hilarious tactics that soon inflames emotions and turns an already complicated situation into a roller coaster.
This from someone who asked me for a divorce. Let's not forget who broke up this marriage. I worked my butt off.
Starring Jocelyn Dumas, Chris Atto, O.C. Okeje, Nikki Samonas, Joke Silva, and many others. Come witness this beautiful comedy told from the mind of an award-winning filmmaker, Shirley Frimpong Manson. Potato premieres in Kumasi.
Saturday, 27 January at Micklin Hotel. First show 5:30 p.m. and the second show 8:30 p.m. Get advance tickets for only 20 Ghana cedis.
Or you pay 30 cedis at the gate. Get your ticket at Love FM, Abuja Fast Foods, Micklin Hotel, Poco Trading Supermarket, and Abibio Express. This is a star-studded movie you don't want to miss. Potato. This event is brought to you by Love 99.5 FM in partnership with Sparrow Films.
You are great, yes, you are.
The Word of God is a strong foundation, a rock that keeps us standing through the storms of life and exposes our innermost thoughts and desires. Join the International Central Gospel Church Trinity Temple, Kwadaso, every Sunday from 8 to 10:30 a.m. as we help you discover your purpose through life-transforming messages. Remember, the proof of a desire is in its pursuit. Don't miss our weekly services on Wednesdays and Fridays from 6:30 to 8 p.m. Your life will never be the same.
Say you are great. You are great. Say you are great. You are great. Everything, yeah. Everything about you is great.
For the past 12 years, New Generation Investment Services Limited, a leading investment banking firm, has guided thousands of institutions and retail investors to make millions in secured portfolio investments. New Generation Investment Services Limited is licensed by the Securities and Exchange Commission and the National Pension Regulatory Authority. We offer Treasury Bill Plus fixtures for products such as fixed deposits, premium investments, NGI's Child Care Investment, and Diamond Plus investment plans, as well as manages Tier 2 and Tier 3 pension funds. NGI's Limited also manages the Enidaso Mutual Fund. Talk to our seasoned investment advisors now and we will structure an investment portfolio for you. Visit us at first floor Kokobo Jubilee House, Adum Kumasi, and second floor Abosoma Kotre House near Cocoa House, Sunyani, or our website www.ngis-group.com. Call us in Kumasi on 03220-91608 or in Sunyani on 0352-197-482. New Generation Investment Services Limited, achieving excellent returns on your investments.
We're back. It's the 17th of January, and we're counting the days here at Love 99.5. The countdown is on. 10 days away from today, we'll be converging at the Kumasi City Mall for the very first edition of the Love Fitness Walk, or call it a health walk, whichever way. We want you to stay healthy, and I pray that that's what you also wish for yourself. I might be, one of my colleagues just walked in. Adwa, good afternoon. She just walked in and she's like, I'm being too hard on the ladies out there, or some of the ladies out there. But is it not disheartening for Patrick, for example, Dr. Patrick from the USA, to say sometimes he sees some of these girls on our streets with protruding tummies and he thinks that they're pregnant? They're not pregnant. They're not taking good care of themselves. I don't know how you can attract a guy if you have that protruding stomach. It's getting me angry right now. so girls, like, if you think that you have a problem, don't wait till you get the problem before you try and fix it. Come out on the 27th. Let's walk to stay healthy, to look attractive and sexy. I pray that when I activate the phone, somebody calls to beat me this afternoon. But we're saying it as it should be said. And so our conversation is to stay healthy in 2018. We are obese. Fats deposited in our stomach area, creating problems, making us look unattractive. I mean, if you're a woman and you're listening to me and you don't do the right things, let's say you deliver one or two, with work, I say, your husband will look elsewhere when he sees the flatter ones. All right? It's true. I mean, Dr. Alfred Adrian, who is with the ICU at Confanoche, once you're here, tell me, how common are these things at the hospitals? Which ones, are very common, in terms of presentations?
Yes. So, David, if as a physician, you never forget the challenges you have with obese people and these fat bellies. What do you call the airbags? It's not to make fun of them, but it's sad. I'm really concerned, and I believe that all of us here. I mean, concerned. Coming into the hospital, one of the key challenges we would have is even securing IV access, intravenous, getting where to place your needle to run some fluids or something. At times, in those who are obese, it's very difficult. You cannot even identify their vessels. For those who are hypertensive, diabetic, most of them have very poorly controlled conditions. You get it? The hypertension and diabetes is poorly controlled because they are not on diets. They are not helping themselves. They are taking the drugs, but not doing. So it's one thing taking the drugs, and also a lifestyle change that goes with the drugs that you are taking. David, one other thing also is that you see patients with these protruding abdomens, maybe after surgery, very difficult for them even to breathe. And positioning these patients in theater and lifting them up, it's not a simple matter at all.
With your small body.
Oh,
you're lifting people up.
It's not easy. So I feel bad. I mean, let's say I'm a patient.
Yeah.
And I'm obese, and about 6 people need to be, and we are already under it. So we have very few personnel at post, and it's like we have to gather about 6 people to lift you up, position you in the right place for the surgeon to. It's a real problem, and you have a lot of these ones have poor wound healing. This is one of the issues also attendants with this obesity. Poor wound healing. There are times that you find a wound in between the abdominal folds. You see, there are some that can get so bad that it actually folds. And if you have a sore in there, you dress it, but it just flips back close. So you have poor wound healing.
Especially the women.
Yes.
Especially the women.
Yes, so we've had surgeries on some of them to cut, reduce the protrusion, cut away some of the fats, plastic surgery. But that is very expensive, you get it. And then for some also with these short necks, I mean, I'm talking generally as well, intubating these patients, it's a real problem. You get it. So beside what we don't see, that the lining of the vessels with the cholesterol and all these things, cardiomyopathies, heart conditions, attendant with this unbridled intake of calories and living a sedentary life, you are not helping yourself, David.
Okay.
You just need to see one patient going through this cycle, and you will never forget. And the relatives will tell, "We on auntie on or sorry or not TV or TV sa remote crowd remote." Even to pick the remote, you send a household to pick the remote. You are not helping yourself at all.
I mean, Lee, how can we get people to understand the importance of what we're talking about and also the dangers involved for them to buy into it and do what is required of them?
I think all hands should be on deck, from the government to our ministers to our doctors. Let them, especially our doctors, let people know the health implications. Because, David, as he said, now diabetes is out of hand. The whole Ghana, I think Ashanti region is leading in diabetes.
Ashanti region?
Yeah.
So,
last year, November, I killed my other brother.
Wow.
Just last month, a good friend of mine died out of diabetes. It's getting out of hand. So if you know the health implications and what being obese can do to you, because the moment you get stroke out of diabetes or hypertension, David, because there's nothing else you can do. Maybe
and yet these are things that are very preventable.
Yeah.
By way of checking our diet and exercising.
You can prevent these things, but we are like, we sit unconcerned, put our palms into our legs, and then before we realize it's too late. So I think if people get to know that if I don't exercise and I get diabetes or hypertension, these are the other things that will follow. I think with that, people will get serious. And then
well, if I've said anything this afternoon by way of describing the tummies, especially that of women, I'm sorry. If I've said it in any wrong way, I'm sorry. If I've said it in any bad, offensive way, I'm sorry, forgive me. But I want you to stay healthy. I want us to enjoy our lives. I want us to live long. Now, Doc, a message that somebody sent to me wants to know is, is it the same? I mean, somebody who uses the treadmill at home to jogging on the treadmill, is it the same as doing it on the streets?
It's a good question, David. And real quickly, I'd like to just backtrack to the pregnancy comment and make sure that I come off correctly there. The women of Ghana are beautiful, in my opinion. So I'm not trying to say that women here look like they're pregnant, but trying to eat to the point to attain a protruding stomach is not in your best health interest, is the point of the conversation today. In response to your question about the treadmill versus running outside, I applaud anyone that exercises at all. If the only thing that you're comfortable doing, if you don't want to exercise in public or walk outside and you're comfortable on your treadmill, then you go for it on your treadmill. I think personally I find it more enjoyable to run outside if you're going to run or if you're going to walk. There are endorphin releases and things that are good for you just by breathing fresh air and being outside and getting out of your house. But if all you're comfortable doing is the treadmill, then bravo to you for
but do you prefer doing it outside for the fresh air and a few other things that comes along with it?
Yes.
Okay.
But exercise and getting your heart rate up and using all the muscles in your body, and especially you're causing yourself to take heavy deep breaths. Those are all very, very beneficial for you. If you do them with a treadmill or do them outside or on a bike or swimming or whatever you do, it's good for you. So I'm going to encourage anyone to do that at any point.
D. All right, so you tell me, what are some of the exercises we need to consider, especially for those of us whose stomachs are not the size that we knew them to be, and we're not comfortable with them and all. What do we need to be doing right now?
David, I always tell people that there's nothing like spot reduction. You can't tell your body to burn fat from here or from over there. Your body burns fat from where it wants. One, check what goes in. You have to do your homework first before you take. I say a chip summer with you. Say a chip banana with you. Do your homework first. Watch your diet. Stop eating junk. Stop eating late. And then if you can go to any dietitian and let the person calculate your basal metabolic rate, know how much calories that you need. If you are to sleep the whole day, I need this amount of calories. If I were to sleep the whole day, and then know your total dietary expenditure. How many calories that you need during the day? So let's say if I were to sleep the whole day, I need like 200 calories. And then if my total, my daily activity, I need about 1,000 calories. then I know if I eat this and that, I'll get 1,000 calories, so that I don't eat more than what the body needs. Because if you eat more than what your body needs, the rest will convert to fat and then deposit. So watch your diet first. Stop eating late. Take care of little things like stress and other things, and then just exercise. Don't try to just focus on your tummy. Okay, because your body will never use the fat there. Trust me on this one. If you're a woman and you think, oh, I say David is saying I'm just going to work on my tummy, so wake up in the morning and just do some sit-ups, forget it. Okay, fine.
I'm not saying the person doesn't realize that this one is big. Don't put me to trouble.
So you wake up in the morning and just think about just doing tummy exercise. It will never respond. Your body will rather use the fat from your boobs or from your butt. So just watch your diet, take care of certain things that we've discussed here, like stress, overeating, and then get active. Your body knows where to burn fat from. But most of the time, our body is so funny. When it's deposit fat, it does so in two ways. One, it loads, as Doc said, it loads inside the muscles. That's what we call intramuscular fat. And then when that place gets full, then it comes under the skin. So don't think that, oh, it's just last that I became this. No, you've been cashier, you've been that for 10 years. It's
not surfacing.
Not surfacing. And then don't just, as I said, watch your diet, do some activity, and the body will then, and then most of the time too, our abdomen is our central fat bank. And the body, that place is the last place to go down, but the first place to get big. So just watch your diet, take care of your lifestyle, be active, take care of stress, don't overeat, and then just get active. Your body will know what to burn the fat from.
You want to wear this nice dress, to this beautiful dinner or to this beautiful party, and then you realize that, Charlie, the stomach is not helping matters at all. Yet you want to wear that very dress because it was brought to you by a relation or you bought it at an expensive price. You don't look good in it. Why would you want to wear it in the first place? Give us a call on 03220-83596. Any question, any contribution, especially the women out there. Listen, I'm talking about women because, Charlie, this time around I'm concerned. What I see out there, Charlie, is not exciting at all. So give us a call, 03220-83596. Guys, are you comfortable with what you have? Is there any question you want to ask? Feel free. Let's have a conversation here on the lines. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. What's your name, sir?
This is Francophone.
This is who?
Francophone.
Okay, Francophone. Let's hear you, sir.
David, today.
I don't know some boss.
You talk about fat.
Yeah.
Wait. One time was you number one for you or female hotel. You got better by this diner. I know she paid you. I will near the fry young beef, but look fat. You're going to go beyond. I was trying to 20 and feel. And so on only cholesterol, say, could see, he dislike all those kind of food. But she was born with it. But so we can't done it. And it's so difficult.
It's you, Frankie. Yeah, Frankie, it's you. Well, we're not talking about other people here. We just want to educate ourselves, Frankie. Please understand. 03220-83596. What would you want to know about your body, about exercising, about staying healthy and all? Sherry Daniels, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, David.
Let's hear you, Sherry.
It's a good program. I gave birth about 16 years ago, and I have this belly fat. But I'm mostly cycling, so I want to know if the cycling is good for me or I should change the whole exercise.
I hear you. D is right here. Patrick is here. We'll tell you something. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Never.
Yes, David, me share me charge the what?
I am my body, baby.
Oh, you know, when the women.
Some of the ladies. You went to the bank, they're wearing this beautiful suit, expensive suit, and the stomach is in there like that. Charlie. Never you.
Charlie, be something, no.
Say something, Nanefa. Let's hear you, Nana.
Yeah, it's a good topic you are treating today. It's something I think I've been fighting for a long time. My tummy. I don't know. So I'm taking all the tests and all those all they said, so I'll work on it.
Glad to hear
Thank
that.
you.
So you look sexy for him. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do.
All right, so D, before I pick my next call, Sherry was asking. She gave birth 16 years ago. She has this belly fat. She's been cycling. It doesn't seem to do the trick. What do you advise?
You know, Sherry doing cycling alone. You know, right now her body is used to the cycling.
Okay.
And with the body, when they get used to something, it stops responding. So she should do something a bit intense to raise her metabolism. Maybe what she's doing is not really enough to kickstart her metabolism. So I think she try something higher, maybe some serious workout to kickstart her metabolism.
Workout? What exactly do you mean by workout?
No, we have now we've gone into a different phase in exercise called HIIT, high intensity interval training. With that, within 15-20 minutes, it will shoot your system to a very high degree where your body will have no other option than to burn fat in you.
Okay.
So we have workouts like jump squats and
So why don't you join us on the 27th?
That's it.
And then they will tell you more. Oh, no, you're not. He shows you directly. Good afternoon. Sorry about that. You can give us a call on 03-220-83596 and let's have a conversation. We're talking about how to stay healthy in 2018. Most of us are obese, and you see women on our streets, you see guys on our streets, and you see the stomach size, and you ask yourself, Charlie, what has he been feeding on? And this same person wants to wear t-shirts and look sexy and handsome in there and all that, but the stomach is protruding, is making him look, something else. We're talking about all this because we want you to join us on the 27th at the Kumasi City Mall for the very first edition of the Fitness Walk 2018. All right, so Doc, once you know that you're obese, what are the things you need to avoid by way of food?
So before I go there, I think I mentioned earlier that some have genetic predisposition to that, and it's quite distressing when they find themselves in that.
The lasso needs help. His is not genetic. Don't push your stomach in. Don't stop breathing. Don't push your stomach in. You need help. So listen, Doc, please go ahead.
So just like my colleagues here said, you should. The principle is what you are not using, you are storing.
Yeah.
And so what you are taking in, you should be very careful what you take in. I would advise people to go for fresh vegetables. That's no notion of mididi angwa ayeni soche. It means that is food, oily food.
Or I'm chewing meat that has fat.
Yes,
fat on it.
People actually request for such
meat.
Yes, meat. Mepe angwa no. I mean that thing doesn't help you.
Okay.
So we have dietitians all over, like I believe, and most of these institutions they work hand in hand with people in other specialties, doctors, dietitians, so that there's a very balanced way of tackling it. The time you eat, how you exercise, it's very important.
I hear you.
Right.
Thank you very much, Patrick. What would you like to leave us with?
I would like to leave you with, I think what you're doing is great. I think the walk you're organizing is excellent, and it's a great topic to bring up, not just here, but worldwide. It's a matter of putting out what you're putting in and getting the most out of your diet. It's a balanced thing. There's no one quick fix to get rid of your belly if you struggle with it. And like Dr. Alfred said, some people are genetically predisposed to being bigger and curvier, and that's okay. If you're comfortable in your skin, that's great for you, but you can always try and be healthier. Everybody can. And so doing different things, a balanced diet and exercise, you will be shocked at how much better you feel every minute of every day. So that's what I would say is the best take-home message here.
Thank you very much. D, I want you to speak directly to somebody for me. Delali, but before you do, Dela, good afternoon.
It looks like you're trying to take on him. I don't mind him.
Dela, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So on Saturday you were here, you did your screening, your health screening.
Yeah, sure.
Satisfied with the results?
Cool, but you know it's about what we have to eat and the things we consume and all that. And he called me on Saturday evening and said, Charlie, girl, listen to me, but I
All right, so speak to Delali for me. You can speak to all of us.
Yeah, I will say to our churches that fitness should be a lifestyle. It's not seasonal. Okay, fitness should be a lifestyle, just like what you do every day.
Yeah.
So right now, yes, everyday thing. It's not a seasonal. Okay. Please, let's get hold of our health. Because right now, as I said earlier, diabetes is out of hand, hypertension is on that side, and It's so sad that people who have potentials are dying out of something that we can prevent. Just 20-30 minutes a day is all that your body needs. So I'll just encourage everybody out there to think twice. Happy New Year. Just, get something going and then just stay fit and healthy.
All right, so his name is Dominic Ofori. You can also call him D. He's with the Hill and Hearty Fitness Center right here at KNUSC. D, thank you very much for your time. Definitely, I'd like to say a very big thank you to Reverend Doctor, Alfred Edu of the ICU. Doc, thank you very much as always for your time, and thanks for the information shared. And to my newfound friend, Patrick. What's your is it Loughlin?
Yeah.
Okay, so Dr. Patrick Loughlin. He's from the United States of America. He joined us as well on the program. We really, really, really are grateful to you. And I know what brought you to Ghana. Thank you very much for supporting us. I know that you don't associate yourself with what Trump said about.
I don't associate myself with anything Trump says. Thank you so much, David, for having me, and thank the people of Ghana for welcoming me.
Thank you, Patrick. And of course, you go enjoy your day and keep working hard and keep staying healthy and alive. Big thanks to you, Alex, for your support as well on Facebook and all. Well, my name is David AKUETTEH. Thank you very much. Delali, he's got sports. Dela, how's the focus playing Kumasi Sunday Kotoko today?
Yeah, sure. In a minute, the game is going to start.
All right. Will I be right in saying Haas is going to beat Kotoko?